Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. I think my microphone volume needs to be turned up a little bit. There we go. I don't know if that helped. I can usually, there we go. All right. Kid's been messing with it. Okay, so interesting action continues. Here we got in the I'll pull over this one. So we had a pretty spiky day yesterday, but moved lower. So we had trade war news, and then Powell went down, and now in the overnight we went up big, came back to this point of control area, kind of tested it, and bounced right off of it. I'm looking to see if anything happened that would have made that happen, or if it's just technicals trading. Trump's trade war will soon hit 65% of business leaders, CNBC survey. Bank of England. OPEC kingpin Saudi Arabia just threw down the gauntlet and it's pushed to ramp up production. Well then. Wise choice, my friend, wise choice. Crude falling down. They're doing tips. Okay. Okay, so there is some more talks, I guess. We get the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index and unemployment and HPI today. So we got some important stuff. So I was thinking maybe we could be range bound, but I think that we're actually going to get a good trade here. Okay. Apparently Democrats still aren't happy about Donald Trump's executive order. Why am I not surprised? Let's pull up the tweet deck. We shouldn't be hiring judges by the thousands as our ridiculous immigration laws demand. We should be changing our laws, building the wall, hire border agents and ICE and not let people come into our country based on the legal phase they are told to say is their password. Manufacturing all-time record optimism, and we got the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index coming up. I bet it's going to be good. I think I would prefer the upside. I mean, we had it move down, and they tried to retrace it and got rejected, so I got, yeah. So the thing here is that we got a higher high by one tick, but it's only by one tick, which isn't enough. And we're probably going to go back down and retrace that 17 is my guess. And maybe they make a higher high, but I'm going to guess that they're going to play the stop everybody out thing. Unless this news is really good and just gets us to move. I think that the news that's going to come out, if it actually moves us, is more likely to push us down. Hillary Clinton still faces criminal liability if Department of Justice and the FBI are finally honestly going to approach this issue, because we now know the prior investigation has zero credibility. That's going to be super interesting. Yeah, that doesn't help. Okay. Okay, well, we ticked up quite a few there. Okay, here comes the news. Initial claims 218 versus 220. So continues to be good. But I want the manufacturing. Philly Fed Business Outlook 19.9 versus 29. That's not good, right? Interesting. And that must be what's pushing us up. Yep. Is that really where it's going to stop? It's a little hard to read because there was a lot of volume that went through there. I feel like it's kind of weird if they stop here. Okay, well, that action right there does not. Okay, there you go. Let's see if it didn't tick a new high there, though. They should trade into 22.5 here, I think. There you go. Not really my favorite kind of action because it came up there and it just completely stopped, you know? And then they decided to take it for another run. So that kind of behavior, other than the fact that the news was bad on the manufacturing index pushing us up, other than that, you didn't really have much of an indication about that particular area that they were just going to all of a sudden push through. Especially not like that. It was kind of a really big surprise for me. They still haven't ticked through the 22.5. Let's see what the numbers are over here. Okay, tick down. $143.14. Okay. Well, they did not really trade into 22.5, and now we're down a tick, and the 5-year looks like it's going down, but there's 4,400 on the offer on the bid, and nobody's hitting it. There's 33. I would definitely call this unusual. I'm thinking about selling it if this 4 pulls. Nope. And a good bid too. 102 not pulling though, but it looks like they could maybe take another step. That's interesting. Is 32,000 really big in the 2-year? Ooh. Now that's interesting. Never watched this before, so it's not. But almost all of that pulled for a moment. Jeez. What'd you think in Alligator? Because I don't know what to think about this so far. I mean, we had a buy off of the Philly Fed for sure, and now it's kind of slowed down here. And I really can't read if this is a continuation or a reversal. I guess since we're above the VWAP, I would have to prefer a continuation. And I do think, I do think we can move up into that 23. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't trade 23. Kind of weird, to be honest, that they haven't already gone, like that they're stopping here. Well, there was an eye at that 22 from way back, so. And we still got this big level at the 24.5. Okay, there it is right there. It's a pivot, a good chance to break up in my opinion, but not sure if it can hold the whole session above, as we'll probably try to bounce. Okay, well now what I'm seeing is I do see a good chance at continuation and an attempt at the highs. I don't know if they'll make it, and I feel like the reward available in this trade is not good enough. Well, see, they just bought it up through the 23 really aggressively. Okay, so they're fighting them at 23.5. About where you would start to see it, yeah. Okay. Okay. That one seemed a little fishy to me. Wow, but they traded 4,000 to make it happen? It seems like they're fighting it a little bit too hard to me. If we were going to take this, where would we have to take it? You could do it at 23. But 22.5 is definitely better. Another thing that's interesting here is that the 5-year is not the one driving us up. Not at all. Has this been correlated to anything in the E-mini? A little bit, yeah. E-mini testing down, Treasuries trading up. Okay. Strong upticks. I don't think I want to buy into 24. I could have gotten filled at 23. Maybe we'd hold it to see the break. Maybe if I see a lot of people selling it up here, I might take it long. If people try to fade it. Okay. So I think that's the one, that's what I was looking for right there. Do that. Risk 2 on it. If I'm right, it should almost immediately tick back up and go. And I couldn't call it, I mean, we want to do this on a trend day. I couldn't call this a trend day yet, but there was a lot of momentum coming into this. They really pushed up here, I think. Oh, I do think that they could push it. Okay, so there's the tick up. Struggling to get over 1,000. That's not necessarily a good sign. Okay, there's 1,000. Okay, a hit. Really. I'm not gonna say aggressive, but 1,500 hit all at once. Took out half of it. You'd think that would give the bid some confidence, but it's not. Probably because the buyers would still like to be filled at 23.5. I gotta be careful with this one because my target is up at 25.5, and that might not be. It might be too far. I mean, if there's a rush, it might go stop run through 25 and not fill us. But what they might also do is break the high unceremoniously, and then the rush might be 25.5, 26. Okay. The bid's still refreshing. That's good. I don't like that. I mean, it means that there's buyers here, but I really want the buyers to be forced to turn into market orders, So I don't necessarily know if all those guys getting filled is a good thing. You are getting the 5-year starting to get the cumulative delta. They need to tick up. Yeah, 14 ticks straight up. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say 13 ticks. I mean, they did stop at the news, right? So it was at 20. So more like 7 ticks straight up. And they had like 3 tick pullback there. There was definitely big gap there at 22.5. Okay, what's with this? And that should just go. Okay. And only 800 again. Okay. Thousand's a little better. 12 in the 5-year, that's a little better. Ah, there we go. The 30-year did make a new high there, by the way. Well, if we get above this 24, we get like a 25.5. I think my profit taking area is the right one. I don't think that if this breaks through, I should be looking for an extension of that move. I should be waiting for it to come back and taking it again. Okay. Don't like that pull at 23. It wasn't necessarily a pull, but that should be way stronger, right? It's fishy. The 5-year did tick down. That's fishy too, to be honest. This isn't going yet. What the heck? Okay. They're luring here, guys. They're trying to buy some contracts lower. There's a tick up in the 5. That tick down in the 5 seemed what is the word that I want to say? I didn't think that it was, let's just say I didn't think that it was going to tick down 2 there. And then the 10-year ticked down 1 and refreshed on the bid and didn't go. This ticked back up. It recovers. It could tick back down. Then maybe I would be more concerned. But at the moment, it looks like that the buyers just wanted to get filled at 23. It's a much better entry. And they did. They got filled. I don't know if some of the big boys got all that they wanted. So especially if this 5-year looks like it's going to tick back up again, you might see people cross over. That I think is the key right now is what's going to prompt people to move from limit orders to market orders. Okay. Still weak bid. 5-year not going. Okay, 5-year went. That has pulled a lot. Pick up in level 2. They're going to go for it now, I think. Want some buyers here in the 5-year. Yeah. Might hit 11. Nobody's taking a trade in the 5-year. 1. Still nobody bought 11. Well, what is with the 5 year nobody wants to trade it all of a sudden? See, like when it ticks up there, the level 2 gets excited, doesn't it? But nobody is buying 11. There's an iceberg in the 30-year too, by the way. Okay, they hit it. Or, there you go, 1,000. Well, the 30's still got a 300 sitting on there too. Big iceberg, well, I mean, it's traded 620. So if it trades up through 26, that's going to be 900 on the offer. So, yeah, and they tick down. So we're going to let it tick up and see if there's any pulling, and if there's not, we're going to get out. I think they had a really great shot of breaking the high there, and they just couldn't do it. No, so now there's some pulling in the 23. Should have just did it. Yeah, okay. trying to think about what scenarios we could possibly have happen here. That looks like a failure to extend the high. Could take it short from 23 to 20 for 9 ticks. And you're risking 4. Kind of like that, actually. There is this possibility that they still go, that they're just messing with us. Note it didn't take a whole lot of volume to bring the 5-year down 3 ticks by also. Hey Dan, how's it going? Ding 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 ding. Well, these buys bits have been here for a while in the 10-year. Oh, I didn't really notice the big order that was at 100 that they ate. Okay, that 22 did not break. Okay, they traded down again. So here's where I could buy it. A little bit more on the offer that time. 5,000. I don't know. We're definitely like range bound at this point. So if I took a trade, I think that I would have to only be looking for like 2. And I'm a little concerned about like selling 22 and then getting filled at 21. And I could maybe buy 22 half and sell at 23 half. That one seems okay. I don't know. So I think that I should wait a couple minutes and just let it play out. Nothing happened in Bitcoin yet today. What is the purpose of the House doing good immigration bills when you need 9 votes by Democrats in the Senate, and the Dems are only looking to obstruct, which they feel is good for them in the midterms? Republicans must get rid of this stupid filibuster role. It is killing you. Hmm? He's been tweeting up a storm over immigration this morning. We got 4 or 5 tweets about that. Okay, well, that 22 is no longer a 5K. Okay. Kind of like that uptick. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I think some people are leaning on this 22 here because it's stayed pretty solid and nobody's been willing to hit into it. Yeah. Good. Not bad. 1,000 immediately on the bid. 24 immediately hit. They all ticked together. 5-year. Looking like that. It's not going to continue through the 07 though. But maybe that pulls. Level 2 is awfully quiet now. Wake up, buyers in the 5-year. I need to wake up. I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep here. Okay. Now, if this sticks up, we gotta watch really careful. At 65 at 24. I don't think it's a spoof or anything like that, but I don't think it's a spoof because it came up here, they couldn't break through it, and then they came down and it stayed. But I think that if we tick up, they might think twice about it. Okay, the 30 years still really thick. Ugh. Iceberg there. Whoa, what? I don't want to mess with that. I guess maybe I panicked there. I should have tried to get out at 23. If I had not gotten out there, I would still be looking to get filled at 23. Oh, look, they took it down. What's going to happen in 22? Nobody's hitting 22. Some orders have pulled, but then they didn't hit it, and it built back up, and it's ticked back up. I bet when this is all done, it's going to be really obvious to me. But at the moment, I really am not sure what they're going to do. I think I'd still prefer the long side. I mean, firstly, because we are above the VWAP. Well, I don't even know if it was like nibble, nibble, nibble at the highs though, Tucker. Like, it was like nothing goes through. Nothing goes through, and then a big lot just comes and takes it. Yeah, I agree with Jack. We're spending a lot of time up here without getting it done. But there's 5K on both sides here. So, like, I don't know if that matters. You know what I mean? Well, it ticked up. If I'd still been long at 22F, I'd be happy at the moment. Right? Like, it doesn't matter how many retail guys bought or sold here, or what the auction direction is, or whatever. What matters is somebody was willing to buy 5,000 and somebody was willing to sell 5,000 all at once, just like that. Which means that they're probably, both of them have enough to break us out of this range, and it just depends on which one of those two guys decides to make their move. And this particular location, whether it continues here or not, is like almost 50-50. So we can't predict which one is going to win. Now, what I will say is, if the seller wins, the target's probably the VWAP, right? Then, like, it all resets. If the buyer wins and we get over 24.5, then all of a sudden we're like really unbalanced again, and we could move up into some of the big numbers from yesterday. So like we could definitely see 25, 25 half, but then I also see that targeted 28 would be possible too with the amount of stops and imbalance that would come in there above 24 half. Look at the level 2 here. It comes down as they come down. So these guys down here probably take the fills. That 22, that 6K 22, I don't. I mean, when it gets down there, it's going to be 4 again. But I don't think that those 4 are just going to pull. That guy at 24, though, might. Yeah, I think I just talked myself into. I still think it could. I would rather be along, but I don't think I have a good enough probability here to be taking a trade on it. That's just my gut instinct is that it is going to break the high. There's also this 10 3/4. That's actually really bullish to me. That they've absorbed 3,000 on the bid now. 07, like just below the high. Like that's really bullish. E-mini is selling pretty hard at the moment too. Have I taken 3 trades? No, only 2. Okay. This makes me want to hold my 22 half, but with what happened down there, I think I made the right choice. Well, there's definitely some big players looking to run it, yeah. Well, so there might be a bit of spreading going on here, too. Because we got icebergs in both the 10 and the 5. So what, if they're buying the 5 and they're selling the 10 is what I would say is probably happening, then we're probably going to move up. Yeah. Let's just see if it fills. No fill. Alright, well. It's okay. I actually feel really good about that. Like, I had everything right. It's just like, if there's going to be guys, big guys, 5K on both sides, that back when we were at like 22 half and 23, I suppose we could have said that once we started trading 23 half, that we were likely to go through, and I should have hit into that iceberg. That's all in retrospect now, of course. But something I can remember for next time. But, you know, we could have easily have ticked down through 22 half and be doing the exact same thing the other way. So I don't think that it was a bad decision to get out where I did. Now I'm seeing continuation signs. Still seeing them. Yep. No, nah, no way. I've seen this. I've seen that before, man. And when you get like they line up like that, and one hits, and then the other one hits, and they've both got big icebergs there. Do not mess with that, man. Unless you really know which way it's gonna go, I wouldn't mess with it. I've been screwed hard on that one before. I've made money on that one before too. But I can't. You can't predict what's gonna happen. Like, think of it this way: you've got two guys with $5 million that are willing to that think they know what it's gonna do. One of them's gonna be wrong. You want to trade against either of those two guys? Hmm. I maybe I could have waited to see 22 hit a little bit more. I'm just saying you don't have any probability there in that spot. Did any of you guys actually take a trade there? If I had to, sure. If you had 5 million, would you really show your intentions? Would you just start slinging around 10K contracts? Sometimes they have no choice. Continuation at 25 half now. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I think you can fade that one. Well, one guy maybe was taking profits from the bottom for sure. Nah, that doesn't make sense because like let's look back at the orders. Can you see them? Oh, I don't think I. What is your point exactly? Is your point that there was a probability that you knew that it was going to go up? Did any of you take a trade there? Because you're all acting like you knew it was going to go up. I don't even think any of you took a trade until it was like breaking. Unless, you guys took one and you just didn't say anything. Rather, did anybody take a trade at 22 half, 23? Because once we were above 23, then maybe you could have said, okay, one side lost. Okay, well, a lot sold at 25 half, and they've been able to hold it. Sellers are still trying to fade it. I don't know. I want to short it, but I can't take a short here. No way. Okay. Sure, it would have been the right thing. Where is my back testing on that one? I think I saw it many times. Like, I think I have pretty reliable stats on that one. I tested it when it was on just on the level 2, but not when it like actually traded a bunch both sides. But the stat that I would be looking at is this one right here, this 300 by 300. So you can actually take a tick out of it 75% of the time or so. This was in the 30-year. So in the 30-year, if you see like 300 by 300, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to see 300 trade there and 300 trade there. And like I said, if you trade it the right way, and that's really complicated how I trade it. But if you just said, okay, I see it here and here, and I just put orders in on it, 50%. If I said which one hits first, and I go with it, so like with that one, I think it was like they hit into this, and then they hit into this. So if they hit into this, then I would just go with it and buy there. That's 50% versus they hit into this and I go on the offer and I fade it. That's 50%. You know, so I tested it a couple of different ways, and then mine, if there's a node, then I always fade against that node. And I want to be in line with the larger trend. So on that one, it would have been like, since the popularity is 23, I would have bought 22.5 and sold 23. And I tested it more than 20, almost 30 times. 27. It looks like. Almost. We're just going to say 30. It was 27. But, like I said, that was when you sing it initially on the level 2. The whole thing that makes this particular one a little different and interesting is that it was a pretty big iceberg, you know? Because the normal size that you would see in the 10-year would be like 3,000, you know, 2 to 3,000, and you should see 2 to 3,000 trade on both sides, right? I think there's also somewhere in here. Yeah, well, let me move it now. I also have the building in a range. That one kind of applies a little bit to this too, because it was a 2-tick range there, but you can see it right here on the Vista chart, that little line right there. That's where it was. So see, at that particular point, could you predict that it was going to go through? No. At this point, I think you could. And I did try taking a trade there, but I was late and I didn't get filled. So why not trade the 5-year? I just feel like the commissions are too much. I also don't think that my reads in the 5-year would be very good. Like, here's my theory. Okay. Look at the 10-year. Okay. 10-year, if I bought here. Okay, I had bought at 22.5, I think is where I bought, right? And it came back down. Okay, so I had bought here in ZF. Yeah, I would have only gone one. I think that 30 trades is enough. I didn't trade it past that, but you know, you have to track it by hand, and how long you're going to track it forever. My question to you is, do you have something that says that that's wrong? The funny thing is that if I had actually taken that trade the way that it says, it would have been successful because he would have gotten some at 22.5 and some at 23. That's why I was saying maybe when it hit into it, I was like, you know, maybe you should have tried to take the one and then try to buy it again at 22.5. But the whole thing just scared me. Because like I said, you don't actually know which way it's going to come out. Um. Okay, so the context is you never do it at the high. So where it happened was okay, but if it had happened at the high, we wouldn't do it. So that's the only context that I've ever qualified it with. What is your point exactly? Do you think that you had an edge in that area? Because my claim here is you don't have an edge in that area when you see that order flow. Not until it breaks out of those prices. It's not really doing what I want it to. I wanted it to come back to 24 and then maybe I could have bought it, but now I'm not so sure if they come back over 24. Like if they fall back below 24.5. Yeah, if they fall back below 24.5, it might be something. Someone might, but I'm just saying that the order flow that we've done in this channel and the order flow that I've done, my experience in that one particular stat when I tested it for that time period, it's you don't know which way it's going to come out, and so it's better to take it off and then wait for one side of it to hold and then buy into like 23.5. Yeah. And I'm merely pushing back against the claim that it's like, well, you know, when it's rangy, you just kind of have to hold on to it. And my response is, you wouldn't be saying that if they had sold through 22.5 and then come down and we were at 18 right now, huh? Then you might be saying something the complete opposite, and you'd be full of shit because you didn't actually know what was going to happen there. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Did you take a trade there? So here's my question. Did you take a trade there? And if you didn't take a trade there, why didn't you take a trade there? Okay. So why didn't you just buy it at 22.5? I was looking for a buy under 22 and a sell above. That's really interesting. Okay. So that to me says that at the very least that you were kind of thought like oh dear, what was that? Oh, that's my phone. Somebody from New York. That must be a broker of some sort. That um, when it was down here at 22.5 and there was like 5K there, I really thought, I really thought that there was a chance that they were going to hit that it was either going to pull or they were just going to hit it all at once and you could have gotten filled. So it sounds like you thought the same thing. And I think that kind of played into it too, was I was like, well, if they really do decide to sell this year, there's enough energy built up in here, you know. Well, it came back up to that 26 pretty easily, didn't it? Nobody trading 26.5, but it may just keep going. So on the point though, the next question would be, I guess, is did you see that 22.5 was the edge of the range there? Sure. Well, there might be another situation where you really do have an edge there, right? Let's zoom this out a little bit, okay? Okay. So there. Okay. All right. So yeah, pretty bullish up through here. I think that if you're going to take a trade, that you're going to have to prefer the long side because the trend is up. You're above the VWAP. It's a higher high, or sorry, a higher low there, but not a higher high. Okay. It did come through here. It did touch 22, but they weren't able to go through it. Okay. But that was where it got out. Okay. So I think you have to prefer a long, and if you're gonna get a long, the place that you know you can get filled, because honestly, at the 22, you're 5,000th in line, and they're not actually hitting it. You don't know if you get filled, and if you do get filled, what are the chances that they're going to go through you, right? So 22.5 is like the safest place to buy it, right? So did you see that that was the edge of the range? And if you saw that that was the edge of the range and you knew that we were going to break a new high, then why didn't you take a long? But I don't think any of us knew that we were going to break a new high, did we? They took 20. I don't know. They had touched 27 there before. Here comes evens and ZB. Yeah. Oh, they didn't actually. Did they not actually touch it? Yeah. Okay. Okay, there it is. I think the 5 years still might trade the 28. It's funny because I remember I was sitting down there and I was like, well, I think that we could take that out, but then if we take that out, there is a pretty good chance that we could get to this big order in 28. And sure enough, we did. And sure enough, they do everything they can in between and then and there to scare me. Clearly somebody wanted to sell it there. And he just lost. That's what that was. Somebody sold it there. He lost. I should have gotten long here. If I had just clicked that a few seconds earlier. Well, maybe not a few seconds earlier. I don't remember how quick it was, but maybe it was by a minute or two. But if I had clicked there at that 23.5 sooner. Well, the thing that kind of frustrates me about that trade, though, was that, like, that was my trade, you know? And I played it better. I mean, at least in terms of the entry, I played that better than I've ever played that trade before. I that 20 that 22 half was literally the best place to get long. Literally the best place to get long, and I didn't hold it. Couldn't hold it. I guess maybe I guess one thing I could say that I maybe did wrong was that even though I saw 5,000, I didn't see a lot hit into 22. I probably should have waited until a bunch hit into 22 just because I was already in it. Because at that point, what, you're risking one tick and you're making, like, you know, or to 22 to 27, so you're making 10, you know. So I guess the clicking out, like panicking, the panic click was, it was a panic click, I think, for sure. I mean, I saw 5,000, it really scared me, and I really thought that they were going to trade through the 22 half and just hit right into 22. I guess part of that trade may also be that how many times have I actually gotten the perfect price on a range like that with a shot for a new high? I think that's maybe the first time that I've ever done it. And so maybe I don't understand the, well, not don't understand, but, you know, I haven't, don't have the experience of playing that one enough to have known that, um, you know, what the risk was there. I just know that in that particular area it's 50-50. But if it's 50-50 and it's only one tick of risk. Okay, well, I got filled there and I'm not liking how it's gone since I've gotten filled. I think I might be misreading it here because um well, I need to look. That's what I need to do. Because the 10-year definitely hit a target that I think you could potentially short, but one, it hasn't attacked it. But then I don't know about the other ones, and ZB might still want something else. Well, we'd have to go like all the way up to like 09, 10. So I think I should just keep this. Okay, and my profit target is in the right spot because I don't know, this 24.5 is still a critical level, and there might be buyers there, so one take inside of that I think is the safest profit target. Just my opinion. I wish I could like quantify that. Okay. Nobody's selling 26, but it's not super strong either. We need the 5-year to sell down. Okay. So I think here I should be patient. Yeah. Oh, geez. My thought at the moment is that 12 3/4 and the 5-year is not just going to break like that when it's got 23 on the bid. An iceberg 23 in there, and then there had been like 1,500 still on there. So what are the chances that it's going to come back up and I can get filled there? Pretty high, I think. Now I think that they're going to come back down and maybe test it. The 10-year definitely wants to sell. Okay. Well, that's no good. Okay. I lost one in that, right? Yeah. Five-year is ideal for small accounts, in my opinion. The claim that it requires 4 times as much money to trade 10-year and 6 times as much money to trade the 30-year. Well, yeah, I don't know, KK. Like, obviously, with you're taking less risk per tick, but the 5-year does tend to go further on the swings. So that's the first thing, because the 5-year is like especially if there's a panic, they buy the 5-year and it goes further. So that's the first thing. But then the second thing is that you have to have more of an edge to overcome the commissions. So I don't know if the 5-year is really the right one for somebody that's really new. I think my current opinion, and I really wish that there was some if you have any ideas on how we can like quantify some of these things so that we can prove that it is this way. But my opinion is that you trade in the one that's thickest, and that one is going to be less likely to stop you out of a good trade, basically. Okay. Interesting. That downtick, I think, actually is a little suspicious. Because they sold her really hard in the 5-year and it caused a stop run. So they might reverse here and go up. Let's see what they do. Okay. What's going on? The original short? Well, I got out of the original short just because I thought I could take a tick out of it. And I think I made the right decision on that one, but then I tried to get in it again, and it went a tick beyond me, and that was more than I was willing to take on that one. I don't know. I mean, I still like it short here, but this seems like an awfully risky trade, doesn't it? Like, they are really going here. Look at how much the 5-year is sold. And here the E-mini is like right at its lows. I don't know, I really like the short, but whew. Well, the thing that I think is interesting about this one is the way that it flicker, 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 go the other way, flicker, 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 blah, 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 you know? Hit, 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 hit. It's just like all over the place. I mean, we've had moves up, but this is just like all over the place right now. I actually think that makes this like a really bad trade. But I think if I was on a live account, maybe shouldn't be playing this area. I was just experimenting. You know, maybe I shouldn't be doing this because this seems like this is a bad habit, huh? Well, we'll put that there just in case that. We'll see how this goes. At the moment, I don't think that they're going to hit that through that. Oh yeah, the E-mini went lower. Is this all of the trade worries are now coming in? Is that what the deal is? I'm wondering if there's been a piece of news now. Well, it's been here at 27.5 too many times. It's a real offer. I think you have to say it's a real offer, yeah? I mean, they've touched it like 6 times now. I think it's a real offer, but that's not what you want. How much is it going to take for the E-mini to... How much did I actually take off of that? Oh, okay. That's okay. Shouldn't have done that trade though. Not the way that I did it. I traded a little experiment and I should be more serious. Like those second contracts to be like, well, what could this happen with that? And I think I did an experiment and I think the experiment didn't work out. It's touched it too many times. There you go, C5. We might be getting our short here. Just let them exhaust themselves. Jeez. Okay, well, if they break through 10K, that gives them enough energy that they could push back up to 120. Yep. I didn't want to take that one because I thought if I have to buy into 28 and then only get a tick, but at the moment it looks like I probably would rather have been in it. Like this, I've been in trying to do the range bound mode for so long, and when I'm finally starting to get a hang of it, when we go into trending mode, and I still want to train the range bound mode, and I'm not making the right decisions. Where is Zero Hedge? This really start at the top of the hour? NASDAQ almost fails to make a new all-time high. Okay. Uniform tariffs will cut S&P EPS by 11%. Okay. Too much absorption on the bid there. Jeez. No thanks. Because they've already hit 8,000 into it, it's not a level break trade anymore. So even though that would have filled and they may still go up there, it's not playing out the way that I normally play it, so I'm not going to take it. Wise choice. I don't like what I'm seeing in Bitcoin today. Yeah, and there's peanut butter today. Okay, well, I don't know. I still like the short for sure. I find it interesting that when we busted through here at 25, that I didn't get these bubbles. But seeing all that up at the high there, I think you could take a short here for sure. It's a little questionable though, because like with trending action like that, I don't know. So let's look back over this. Okay, so I bought at 23.5 somewhere. Where was it? And I think that when I bought at 23.5, way back here at the top of the hour. Oh, 722. That's right. Okay, so but when was the other one? It was 706. So this one right here, this buy, wrong decision, I think. I don't really recall why I bought it there, but clearly we were in a zipper. So now when I bought it at 22.5, that was great. And of course I got out because there was I could see that there was people on both sides and there's no probability there. I think I could have still risked one tick, and since they had never hit into 220, I think that was probably the mistake there. And I could have held that one. If I had held that one, would I have gotten out at 25? I think I would have gotten out at 25. Now then when it was at 25, no, I let it go. I actually took some at 27. That's funny. So all through this right here. Yeah, so it would have, I think maybe I would have gotten out at 25. And then if I didn't, definitely would have gotten out at 27 somewhere. And then I thought it was going to go, but they took a step higher. I was like, nope. And of course they did go up. And now I still feel like it could go lower, but like this is trend action. So I don't, it could just keep going. And the thing that I think is disconcerting about this is that this action looks, well, I see two things that are different today. Okay, one is that the Treasury market is being much more random. Like some of these ticks and moves are just all over the place, and to see that many ticks right here within a 30-minute span is really unusual within such a tight range. So it's just really moving around a lot, and the level 2 is unreliable, and they're moving around a lot, and this is unusual action, as of late at least. So something in the market has changed today. So that's the first thing. So then on the backdrop of that, what's going on then the E-mini here? Because that looks incredibly bearish to me. That looks just incredibly bearish to me. And yet it is a higher high and a higher low. So does that mean that either that's just not going to hold, of course, at some point that's going to fail, right? Or they've got more left in it today. So like, guys, this is kind of scary. Yeah. Now will it make a new high? I wouldn't be looking for that trade. I mean, I feel like it's a short here, but well, okay, let me quantify what I mean by random. I mean like do I have a good example here? Okay. This right here, that's not random, right? That is just a straight uptrend for several ticks. They're very clean and organized. Okay, this right here, you know, I'd say it's okay. That's pretty normal action. But then look when you get to here. Skip, down all over the place. There's a skip here. Comes up, it's in a range for a bunch. There's a skip here. All of a sudden the action is really organized, is really disjointed and disorganized. But then when you look at the level 2 in particular, lots of level 2 changes, lots of stacking and pulling, these numbers going back and forth several times before it actually ticks through. If you're looking at like any, you know, if you're watching this and you see, okay, well, there's 4,000, and if we tick down, is that going to hold? It's not going to matter, because they're almost guaranteed to pull. And then they're going to go back and forth between that one too. Right? So I would say this is different action from what we've had recently. This used to be really common action, and I think pretty good trading through the beginning of the year. But at the moment, no. It's really random. It's really, what is the word? Impulsive. This seems orderly to you, huh? The other thing I was going to say, though, and the more important thing for you, was like, is it going to make a new high or not? What I would be waiting for is so we did get higher low there. So I do think you could potentially be along, but I'm going to be looking for the failure here. You can see if they stop. Particularly in the 5-year. Give the confirmation that the trend is over and then maybe short it. Anyways. Need to move back to my trending strategies. And just start trading this like I normally would, because there's some good moves in here that I've been too afraid about. I want to see what you guys can say here. That was the low in the Dow, in my opinion. That action in the E-mini really looks like a low to me too, but I'm just saying, when you look at it on the 30-minute chart, it's like, I don't know. There's another step down if they want it. And on the, 2 days ago, they went much further than that. Could do anything. Yeah, I don't know. Can't say. Anyways, but I'm gonna head out.